Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the That's Football. I nearly did it again. For Arsenal's trip to Sheffield United, which has obviously big ramifications in the title race and I suppose in a sense the relegation race, although I think Sheffield United are getting relegated like Burnley, who, can I just say, this is what we do on this show, we have lots of topical conversation. How crap are Burnley and why have they not sacked Vincent Kompany? I'm absolutely stunned. They've got the same amount of points as Sheffield United, and yet I don't get why Vincent Kompany's just safe in Burnley's managerial position. I just don't get it. Maybe someone can explain that one to me. But Sheffield United sit at the bottom of the table, 13 points from 26 games. Arsenal are third in the league with 58 points. They're a game behind Man City and Liverpool because obviously they played their games at the weekend. A win for Liverpool would take them still third, but a point behind Man City and a point behind Liverpool with those two playing each other at the weekend. So it's a big game for Arsenal, and they're big favourites to win. Could we get any shocks here tonight? Football's a funny old game. It's a funny old game, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't think we will. Looking at the Sheffield United side, Goldbridge, Bogle, Ahmad, Ostic, Trusty, Robinson, McAtee, Norwood, Costa, Davies, Hamer and McBurney. When you've got McBurney up front in the Premier League, you know you're in for a long night. And we've got Arsenal, Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kiviar, Odegaard, Jorginho and Rice, Saka, Havertz and Martinelli. And I've got to say, I'm even more confident, and I was already confident, that Arsenal would win this game tonight because I really have been saying it all season and I really like the balance of that midfield now with Jorginho in there and Declan Rice. I just think it gives them a more balanced midfield, in my opinion. So yeah, get involved. Lots of questions. I've got a few either-ors for you as well. And look, it's going to be a tough job here. And all I would say is, Arsenal, don't go and mess up your title hopes at Bramall Lane. That would be huge if that happened. Let's have a look at. Welcome. We've had three members in the first few minutes here. Welcome to the members club, Theodore. Philip Sutton's gifted a membership and Gabrielle's a member as well. Get your badge in That's Football. Love to see those badges. Thanks very much for your support. Get your badge in the chat by joining the members club. And Paul Tierney's punishment for his mess up against Liverpool, VAR for the Arsenal game. Thank you, PGMOL. I thought he wasn't. I thought he'd been banned this weekend, Peter, to be honest. I think Kompany will be good for getting back, says it's Louis. Yeah, look, I get that, but I think my point about Vincent Kompany is I'd have sacked him at Christmas because I think that Burnley, with a different type of manager, and the fact that this league season is going to have at least two teams with points deduction in it, I just think that, yeah, Vincent Kompany will get them back up with the same players. Of course he will. But I think there was an opportunity to stay in the Premier League. And the bigger point is, what's the financial benefit of Burnley staying up or going down and coming straight back up? Because with parachute payments, are you financially better off going down to come back up again? I don't know. But it just seems very weird to me. I think Burnley gave up at Christmas and just said, let's keep Vincent Kompany, he'll bring us back. When actually, I think you look at that league table and, you know, Burnley, I think, could have got more points. But they're so shit. They're so shit. Like, they're really shit. And it's incredible the amount of games they've lost. 2 weeks ago, they'd lost more games than they lost in the season that Deitch got relegated in the May. So, yeah, mad. Absolutely mad. Let me... Oh, God. Sorry, I've just got a message coming in about Ten Hag. Let me send this. Arsenal already with a shot on goal here. Sorry about that. I wasn't actually aware. Have you seen the Avengers ref line up for Pool City game? Oliver's the ref and David Coote's the fourth official and Pratwell's on VAR. I didn't know that. Michael Oliver getting the big game. Look, I think for the race, Liverpool can't lose that game. If Man City go to Anfield and win, I think they'll probably win the title. Hi, Mark. Did you catch Joey Barton trying to slag you off earlier? Says Robbo. I knew at some point Joey Barton was going to try and come for me. I haven't seen the tweets, so I don't know the context. But I knew at some point he'd come for me because, you know, I'm exactly the sort of person he's going to go for because he thinks he's relevant and he thinks he's some sort of, you know, saviour of football. But I ain't got anything. I've got nothing more to say. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just giving him airtime by responding to him. I think company. Yeah, thanks for that. It's Louis. Just a quick one as well. Good play here by Arsenal. Joey Barton and Mark Goldbridge in a boxing match. Mate, I genuinely, I don't really do beef, and I'm certainly not going to do it with Joey Barton, who I just think is just low-hanging fruit. I just don't agree with most of his opinions, and it's just a waste of time. I'd rather get back into an argument with DT. It's just irrelevant, and that's not going to happen either, you know. Nathan Watson says he cooked you. He called you a fake fan. I mean, the fact that you're coming out with stuff like that makes me laugh. I mean, the fact that you're using the words cooked. What was the other one people used to use on Twitter as well? Ratio. Did he ratio me as well? Oh, God. I don't know how I'll sleep tonight. I've been cooked and ratioed by a sexist. Wow. I don't know what I'll do. I think I might just quit it all. You know, all the hundreds of thousands of pounds we've raised for charity, all the things we've achieved in life, and just to get cooked by Joey Barton. Was it worth it? Where did it all go wrong? Share price is falling, says Neil. Oh, got burnt as well, says Linda. Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, no, Nathan says he was actually joking. Yeah. You can tell the poor lad's got no clue about the space because he's trying to just trying to beef with everybody. It'd have been, to be fair to him, Joe Barton in 2017 might have done quite well, but it's 2024, mate. Arsenal are all over them here. All over them. We are sponsored by the show by Manscaped. I'll mention them in a minute, but it's 1-0 and it's Odegaard already. I tell you what, the goal was coming and it's embarrassing. It's not embarrassing for Arsenal. They're loving it. There's nothing embarrassing about what they've done there. But from a Sheffield United point of view, it's 1-0 already. It's been coming and we've only been playing 4.5 minutes. It's a tap-in for Odegaard, but Arsenal are just pinging this ball around this terrible Sheffield United defence. Declan Rice with the assist and the cutback, playing in a little bit more of an advanced role with Jorginho in the team. But it's a terrible start by Sheffield United, not picking up the runners in the midfield. A simple cutback. Havertz moves out the way, and Odegaard, who is playing much, much better without Havertz being in that midfield with him. And this could be a question of how many. Goldbridge out, get Southgate to manage the YouTube All-Stars, says Poop. And thoughts on Anderson for as Charlton have United sending scouts to watch last game on Tuesday, says Johan. Thank you very much for your super chat. And James Adams says Chris Wilder is nowhere near qualified to be managing in this league. Koo says your voice might be a little bit quiet. Let me just check. Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off. No, it's absolutely fine. This is going to be a massacre, says Charlie. This could be double digits. Are you doing any Champions League games? I tell you what, I am doing Bayern Munich against Lazio tomorrow for 2 reasons. One, it's quite an interesting game because Lazio are 1-0 up. And 2, I just can't believe how shit Bayern are. I just can't believe it. I literally refuse to believe it. So I'm going to watch it tomorrow night. So we'll do a watch along of that one tomorrow night. So Arsenal have got the goal as it stands to put themselves back in as 3rd place, 2 points behind the leaders Liverpool as it stands. They've got that goal, that early goal. And, I mean, this is a bloody nightmare for Sheffield United. You at least want to keep it 0-0 for 10 minutes. Harry says, what do you think about Southgate as the next United boss? Mate, I'm still very, very raw after yesterday. Don't try and depress me with that negativity. Can we talk about your favourite cake or, you know, your favourite porn category or something like that? I don't want to talk about things like that. It really depresses me and I'm already low. You know, it's like that Simpsons meme. I'm already dead. Stop kicking me. I don't want to talk about... I'm not in the mood. Rest in peace, Tony Green from Bullseye. Says the greatest of all time. I thought he died 10 years ago. So, actually, well done. Not well done on dying. What I mean is, I thought he died years ago. So, he's had 10 years extra. Still sad, though. The voice of Bullseye. No, I'm getting him mixed up with Jim Bowen. He did die 10 years ago. He didn't get another 10 years. He's not Jesus. He's Jim. Who has best season so far? Bellingham or Foden, says Johan. Well, Bellingham for me. I think doing it at such a young age in the greatest team, you know, greatest name team in the world is incredible. Foden's doing well, but is it really, you know, he's not doing it at Arsenal, is he? He's not doing it at bloody Newcastle. He's doing it in a team that's packed with brilliant players, whereas I think that Bellingham's done it better. But it stands great for England, doesn't it? Thoughts on Battenberg cake, says Luke. Is that the one with the pink and the vanilla colour and then the icing around it? In which case, nice, but probably something I need to avoid in my current guise. There it is. Look, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Use the code FOOTY, 20% off with the code FOOTY and free worldwide shipping. What is Manscaped? Well, trim the grass to make the yard look bigger with this for down there. Even got a light on it as well. Yeah, that's familiar. Weed whacker for up your nose. I can use that one as a live demo. Oh, it's so satisfying when you can hear it chopping it away. It's like chopping down trees. Also, handyman, if you're a clean shaver. I use this just to go around the edges to clean shave it. But you could clean shave yourself with that. Oh, look at that. You know what that is, Karen. And you've also got the beard trimmer as well. 11 different lengths. I use this. Fantastic products with Manscaped. Delivered to your door with 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. You won't regret it. They are the leading brilliant male groomers. Manscaped. Check it out. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. Flores Official says, Villa against Ajax on Thursday. It's a big game for Villa, especially since they have Spurs on Sunday. Mate, Super Sunday. Super Sunday. We've got both games for you on this channel. Spurs against Villa at Villa on Sunday, and then Liverpool against Man City at Anfield straight after that. It's the biggest Sunday of the season, and it has massive, massive implications on the race for the title and the race for top 4. And there's Saka. Oh, big block. It was nearly 2-0. Lemon drizzle cake is underrated, says Reese. Alan Peach says, are you still not climbing down from your joke take yesterday? Whole internet of United fans wondering when you got into crack and today. I don't know what take is it, Alan? I don't know. I made a few yesterday. I can't climb down something that you don't tell me what it is. If you're talking about the Ederson foul, mate, I still stand by it. Any player outside the penalty box slides in like that, it's a foul, and it's probably a red card. It is out of control, it is reckless, and it is endangering the opposition. I stand by it. I've seen it so many times, and at no point have I gone, oh, what a great last-ditch tackle. It's X-rated, and it shouldn't be happening in football. And I actually think Garnacho bottles the tackle because he knows if he moves that ball out the way, he's going to get snapped. So, no, I'm not changing my opinion on it. Man City won the game. They were the better team, but I'm not changing my opinion on that. Oliver Berta, and I'm not doing a poll on it either because I know I'm in the minority, but I'm not changing my opinion on it. We lost the game. We weren't the better team. Man City were the better team, but I'm not changing my opinion on that. Do Ineos have enough expertise to recruit a new manager? I believe it's a high-risk move to employ a new coach in such a big summer, says Juan. I agree. Anyway, I have got a poll for you, and it's not that. It's an interesting one. Either or, you'll love this one. You will love it. Ollie Watkins or Nunez at Liverpool. Go. That's a great one to start off with. And if you want to get any either ors in, just do £100 super chats and I will consider it. Though you know the rules. £100 super chat and you can have an either or. I'm joking. A 10 is fine. It's a good one. I can tell it's a good one. It's a really good one. I love it. I love a good one. Here's Saka into the box. Cut back. 2-0 off own goal. What a fucking idiot. They're scoring in their own goal. Oh. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Saka's got an assist. And, mate, you're already shit. You don't need to score for him. But, I mean, this is men against boys, isn't it? I mean, this is like Captain America having a fight with Rita Fairclough off Coronation Street. And she's in a coma. It's just terrible. I mean, what's he doing? It's a bloody good finish. He flicks it in. It's a great finish. If he played for Arsenal, you'd have said, what a goal. He flicks it in. Treble Champ says, Arsenal are incredible, so much better than Liverpool. Mate, I said it last week. I have Arsenal as favourites for the title at the moment. I don't think they'll win it, and people will go, what are you talking about? But you can be favourites for something and not win it. And I think the favourites for the league is going to change week to week because we've got a three-way. And like a three-way, at different times, people will be involved. Sometimes you're going to be in a good position. 3-0. Oh, my God. We might be watching history here. We might be watching a 9-0. People said, why are you doing this game? We could be watching a 9-0. This could be 9-0. I'm not joking. And I tell you what, the great thing for Arsenal is, it's goal difference. It's all fucking goal difference. And they already have a good goal difference. So it's just getting better. Their goal difference before this game was better than Man City by about 5 and better than Liverpool anyway. And that's another point. Havertz with the... Oh, Martinelli with the goal. I'm thinking about Goldbridge here. Anyone remember if I had any Arsenal players? What's your FPL marks? Says Even. I'll have a look in a minute. Tom Grant says, evening, Mark. You should do a carpool with Sean Dyche and Chris Wood. That would make you and all of us over the moon, or just go for a pint, says Tom Tom Grant. Who has had a better career out of Haaland and Mbappe? Second, Neymar or Mbappe, says Johan. Arsenal incredible, so much better than Liverpool, says Treble Champ. Start, bench, sell, carrot cake, Victoria Sponge, chocolate cake. Well, I would say Victoria Sponge third, chocolate cake second, and I really do like carrot cake, so I'd put that first. "3-0 to Arsenal inside 15 minutes, and Sheffield United have just made a sub. What do you think the final scoreline's going to be?" Arsenal playing on semi-pro here, says Danny. Could we get a 9-0? Don't know. Fans are walking out. Who got the assist on the Martinelli goal? Vinicius Junior or Saka, says Newham. This is getting on my nerves. What's the goal difference for Arsenal? Kiviar got it. Oh, fuck off. Why is this not working? I'm trying to scan something. Okay. Turn that off. Put that away. Who had the best career, Haaland or Mbappe? Don't really care. Doesn't really get me going. Get in the chat. Have your say. I just think Haaland's too early in his career to compare him to Mbappe at the moment. Oh, I'm getting some breaking news on Goldbridge. Diaz, Gordon, Son, Muniz, Rashford. Oh my fucking god! Did Diaz didn't score for Liverpool, but Gordon scored for Newcastle. I think Son score for Spurs. Muniz scored for Fulham. I think Rashford did. Dubravka got a clean sheet. Yeah, Goldbridge is Will's getting absolutely smacked up, isn't he? Let's be fair. Well, Arsenal haven't scored for 3 minutes, so that's a big thing. Bam, bam, bam. Right, I'm back on track now. Let's get these stats rolling round. Sorry. Look at that. 73% possession for Arsenal. 8 shots to 0. 3 on target. I mean, come up with your comparisons about what this is. This is like a polar bear fighting a cucumber. I nearly said it's like a polar bear screwing a squirrel, but no one wants to imagine that. And it might not be consensual either. So, well, if it is, look, I don't want to talk about it at the end of the day. I already get into trouble with the RSPCA for hypothetical stuff. YouTube football channels are saving football commentary and punditry. Good shot again. Reese says, YouTube football channels are saving football commentary and punditry thanks to you guys. Appreciate you and many other channels. Thank you very much, Reese. Appreciate your support. Friendly reminder, Sheffield had more shots at the Etihad than us last night. What's that got to do with anything, Treble Champ? Friendly reminder, Sheffield United are absolute shit and nothing anywhere near Man United, who are in 6th, and it's about where you are in the league table. That's one of the worst comparisons I've ever heard. It's Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston, says Joe Wright. I must have missed your mid-season review. According to you, who is winning the Premier League and the Champions League? Shantum. I don't know. I've got Man City for the Champions League and I put Man City for the league. But as I said, right here, right now, I think Arsenal are favourites. That could change next week. But right here, right now, I think Arsenal are favourites because they're just so good. I think they're playing the best football in the league at the moment. Liverpool have obviously got their injury problems and, you know, Man City are a good side. We saw it yesterday, but I think Arsenal are incredible at the moment. The only thing that might cause Arsenal a problem is they've got to go to the Etihad, and by then, will everybody still be fit and as in form as they are at the moment? Another shot, Havertz on the turn. The real test for Arsenal would be City. Well, yes and no, because remember, Man City play Liverpool on Sunday. Arsenal are playing Brentford on Saturday. Now, if Liverpool were to beat Man City and Arsenal were to beat Brentford, that would put Arsenal 2 points ahead of Man City. So Arsenal could go to the Etihad ahead of Man City, which I think changes the whole complexion of that game. And that is Arsenal and Man City. Arsenal's next game is Brentford, and then their next league game is Man City. Man City's next 2 league games are Liverpool away and then Arsenal at home. So, yeah, they are going to be massive, definitely. Mark, what's your thoughts on people leaving early? Personally, I don't like it. You should stick with your team through good and bad. Tickets are very costly, says It's Louis. Yeah, but you know what? I actually had this chat on the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast with Will, and I can't remember what I said on that, but I do also understand that it's a Monday night and you come out to support your team and they're 3-0 down after 15 minutes. And you know that your only chance of getting a result out of this game is to, you know, be tight and nick something. And when you're 3-0 down after 15 minutes, you know you're getting beat. So do you want to stay and watch your team get absolutely annihilated? I mean, you're going to beat the traffic. Here's Martinelli. There could be another goal here. Havertz. Oh, what a finish. 4-0. What a finish. What a finish that is by Havertz, to be fair. He's really suiting that role, isn't he? He really is suiting that role. They're going to review it. It might not get given, but I mean, it's a lovely finish by Havertz. They're going now, look. Bloody hell. This is embarrassing though, isn't it? This to me, this is another indicator of the gap between the Championship and the Premier League. We have seen big results like this before, but I think the consistency with how easily Sheffield United and Burnley are being beaten every week is just remarkable, really. The gap is massive. I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I'm actually thinking we might actually get some incredible scoreline here. 4-0. If anything, it's a foul on Martinelli in the build-up. But it's a lovely finish by Havertz. That reminds me of my left foot, this. This Havertz finish just reminds me of me. Can't say anything more. 4-0. 25 minutes. If they kept this up, it would be 9-0 by the 60th minute. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. But, oh, no, it's not going to be 9 anything. Good save by Raya. They wanted an offside. but it wasn't offside. Relegate them now, says Lee Berman. I mean, there's just no... Sheffield United and Burnley are gone. There's no point. How many 9-0s have we had? I believe Leicester did it to Southampton, didn't they? United did it to Ipswich. Saka's in here again. Saka did it to Ipswich. Not Saka. Man United did it to Ipswich. And I think Spurs did it to Wigan and Southampton. I think we've had 4, haven't we? I'm sure Man City have done it as well. As a Sheffield United fan, I just want the season to end, says Jack. Liverpool did it to Bournemouth as well, apparently. Yeah, Liverpool did do it to Bournemouth, didn't they? Honestly, what do you think the score is going to be, says DJ Captain? Man United did it to Southampton in 2021. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I forgot that one. That was where they got the man sent off at Old Trafford, wasn't there? We've had loads then. We've had loads. How many 9-0 in the Premier League? I think we probably had 5 or 6 then. Okay, here we go. Liverpool did it to Bournemouth last year. No, sorry, in 2022, last season. August 2022. Man United did it to Southampton in February 2021. Leicester did it to Southampton in 2019. United did it to Ipswich in 1995. Oh, we've only had 4. Spurs beat Wigan 9-1. I thought Spurs had done it for some reason. We've only had 4 then, apparently. Liverpool, Bournemouth, Man United, Southampton, Leicester, Southampton, and Man United, Ipswich. And it's Louis says, Havertz is slowly changing people's minds. I think it's about the position, Louis. I think it's all about the position. I think Havertz is in the... Arsenal's midfield is so much better with Jorginho, Rice and Odegaard because Odegaard is the 10, whereas for a lot of this season he has to share the role, and I don't think that suits him. A few tasty tackles going in from Sheffield United players now. It's a yellow card. Imagine leaving Saka to work with Anthony, says 58 Go. What do you think the score's going to be, says DJ? I mean, honestly, I reckon it might be 6 or 7. I don't think we'll get to 9. But look, I'll tell you what, that tackle's wild. It's nowhere near the ball. That should be reviewed. That's wild. That's a red. That's a red. That should be reviewed. 100% a red. Why have they not reviewed that? That's just... I hate this sort of stuff. That's just fucking football sympathy. Let me have a look again. Oh, man. That's a red. Fucking hell. In slow-mo, it looks fast. Nowhere near the ball. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Let's do a poll on it. Ollie Watkins got 54% over Nunez, by the way. We did an either-or. Ollie Watkins against Nunez. 54% of you went with Nunez. Got plenty more of these to come. Should that have been a red? I think if you've played the game at any level, you know exactly what you're doing there. The reason it's a red for me is because he knows what he's doing. He's off the ground. He's absolutely clattering the player. It's a red. It's all about the intent. And he knows what he's doing there. There's no intent to get the ball. He's all about getting the player. 100% red. But, typical VAR, they ain't got a fucking clue. If you don't catch the player with your studs, they won't give a red. Inter will be 15 points ahead of second if they win tonight. Inzaghi inherited a good Inter team with an okay board and with players who know 3-5-2. He'll have a lot to do if he goes to United, says OP. Imagine, I don't hope he's not been linked with the United job. Grant Ross, and that was OP who said that. OP Chansey. Cool Burn, thank you very much. And Flores Official says, no English club have ever conceded 5+ goals in 4 consecutive home league matches, and Sheffield United are on the brink of being the first. Wow. Wow. You see what the referee's just done there? That free kick is exactly what Kyle Walker did to Marcus Rashford. And yet that's a free kick. Because it is a free kick. Missed the first 30. Give me a recap, says Eureka. Just Arsenal wave after wave of attack. Both at City, who is better, Rashford or Foden? Foden, Les. Like, Foden's an amazing talent, amazingly technically gifted footballer. 75% of you agree it should have been a red. I think it's sympathy that they haven't sent him off. I think it's 4-0. And they've just basically gone, if we send him off, it's going to be even worse. The Ipswich 9 are getting freed, says Jacob. Thoughts on Bath as a city, says EML. I do like Bath. I haven't been for a few years, but I do like it. I really like York. Porto beat Benfica 5-0. Can Arsenal turn it around, says Man United 888. Well, we'll find out next week. I'll tell you what, if Arsenal can get 5 or 6 before half-time, this is on. Because he will start making subs, of course. There's a lot of empty seats at the Bramall Lane now. Oh, Declan Rice with the flicks. Make sure Goldbridge Saves Football podcast is out at 7 o'clock tomorrow. If you're on Spotify or iTunes, give it a listen. Some really interesting either ors on there. One involving signing of the season. I've got a very interesting take on it, so make sure you check it out. But we've got a great weekend of football coming up as well. Sunday's looking really good. Villa against Spurs in that battle for 4th. City against Liverpool in the battle for the title. It's a lovely ball by Odegaard. Martinelli's there, flicks it back, edge of the box. Declan Rice is going to win that. They're just quicker and better, aren't they? Quicker and better on the ball. Here's Ben White. Imagine if they got a 10-0. Look, you've got to keep the tempo up. You've got to keep... if you want to go for that, you've got to... It's an effort, and I just don't know whether... I think they've got to be 5 or 6 up at half-time to go for the record. But to be fair, if you're Arteta and you're Arsenal, you don't want to go easy on them. You don't want to go easy on them because goal difference could be massive in this title race. Like Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal... The goal difference, it could come down to goal difference. I'll tell you what, PGMOL, their arse is going to be twitching like a bunny's nose. They are going to be shitting it. Imagine if Man City won the title by 1 point. Imagine. Arsenal robbed of a point at Newcastle by that push in the back on Gabriel. And Liverpool robbed of God knows what at Spurs. With the onside goal. Oh, this is lovely football by Arsenal. Another corner. Would you argue there is a better Europa League fixtures than Champions League this year? What do you think, Mark, says Blues enthusiast? I'd have to have a look, mate, because I haven't even looked what the Europa League fixtures are, because it's they had the qualifier, didn't they? But now they have got them. Let's have a quick look. So, you've got Lisbon against Atalanta on Wednesday, Roma-Brighton on Thursday, Benfica-Rangers, Milan against Slavia Prague, Liverpool against Sparta Prague. No, the Champions League's still better. I didn't realise Ajax were playing Villa in the Conference League. Leverkusen, I think, are in the Europa League, aren't they, as well? Yeah, they're playing against Karabakh. Bayern Leverkusen are going to win it, says Michael. Depends. Depends what how many. Depends how interested Liverpool are. I mean, I don't think personally that Liverpool are going to be that interested. I wouldn't be that interested in the Europa League. I mean, they play Thursday night in Prague, and then they've got to play on Sunday against Man City. I mean, I'd just be sending the kids, but the kids are playing anyway at the moment. Notice how they're 4-0 up and still passing around the box. Same can't be said for United players who just shoot any chance when they're 2-0 up, says Luke. Yeah, you're right. Very good point. The whole robbed is such a cop-out. Win by more, says Nigerian Uber driver. And Bayern have open talks with Alonso, says Lewis. That'd be a blow for Liverpool, because where do Liverpool go if they don't get Alonso? Good question. 72% of you said it should have been a red card. I'll close that off. I'll give you another either or. Has Foden done enough to start for the Euros? Saka might have the right wins. I'd start him on the left, Connor. Start him on the left. Start Foden on the left, because to me, the best left-footed option, the best left-wing option for England is Anthony Gordon. I wouldn't be starting Grealish or Rashford, so start Foden on the left. I wouldn't mess around with the midfield. Bellingham's got to be 10. Bellingham, Rice, maybe Trent. Look at, I mean, Arsenal, I've got to say Arsenal are a joy to watch. Oh, Odegaard with the shot. You know, their biggest problem at the moment is that Sheffield United have actually started to defend quite well at 4-0. Getting a lot of blocks and headers in. Yeah. James BCFC says Bayern have open talks with Alonso. So where would Liverpool go if they don't get Alonso? Good question. Arteta out, says Kaz. Oh, mate, you know what? We live in a funny world, and opinion should always be welcomed. But just because it's welcomed doesn't mean you can't ridicule it. As I know, I get ridiculed quite a lot for my opinions. But there is still... It is still a thing. There is still an Arteta out movement in the Arsenal fan base. What a goal! What a goal! Declan Rice, 5-0. Saka with the assist. It's been coming. I mean, this is I don't know whether Sheffield United are just utter shit or Arsenal are absolutely amazing. And maybe it's a mix of the two. But the way Arsenal are scoring goals, and the way that they're knocking the ball around. I mean, that goal, correct me if I'm wrong, could be one of those big pass movement goals. Saka with the assist again, but Declan Rice with the goal. But it's just pass, Odegaard, Saka, cut back, first time shot with Declan Rice. It's 5 already. We've had 40 minutes. Liquid football. I mean, I'm just about to tweet. I think my tweet on @Mark Goldbridge epitomises where we're at. Liquid football from Arsenal. Liquid shit from Sheffield United. It's that simple. And this is now starting to resemble a COVID game. Because those stadiums are starting to look very... It's like a COVID game. Remember when you had to be separated by 4 or 5 seats? God, remember those days? Bloody hell. We lived that life. We lived those times. Remember the games when you had to be 4 or 5 seats apart? Who does that as well? 4 or 5 seats apart. Ramsdale's at. Loving it. Liam says, Arsenal are clapping Sheffield United's cheeks here. Mark, as a United fan, it's frustrating to see haters in the chat and comments of your match reaction yesterday criticising what you say and calling you deluded, but you never see them commenting when we win, says Joe Barnes. Thanks for the super chat, Joe. Liverpool versus Forest would end in Liverpool ball because danger play, says Boken. No, he got it wrong, mate. Would you take Anthony Gordon to the Euros, says Bailey? Yes. And Brandon says, you never hear any Arsenal, City, Liverpool or Spurs players moaning about having to run in training. Different mentality players to United, and it shows. Yes, Brandon, you do. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. I think people are tuning in now because we might be watching history here. They're only 4 goals away from equaling the record, and it's not even half time. If they get another one before half time, it's on. But from Arsenal's point of view, it's the goal. We've never seen. I've not seen so many. I haven't seen so many balls since a gangbang. And I've not been to one of them. I've just heard that there's a lot of balls in that. I don't know what it means. Another corner here for Sheffield United, for Arsenal. Arteta said goal difference is important, says Aiden. Yep. And there was something else I was going to say here. Oh, yeah, I know what I wanted to do. Look at the stats. Look at these stats. Arsenal fans, you might want to, you can get people to create something that's a frame. You might want to frame this. No shots on target, no corners. You've had 15, you've had 7 on target, you've had 80% possession. They're just enjoying themselves, Arsenal. They're just confident. Saka's taking people on. Close ball control. And he shoots. The Premier League is overrated outside the top 8. Bunch of farmers watch Porto give Arsenal a game, says I'm all in. Nah, I don't think the Premier League is overrated outside the top 8. I really don't. I actually think when you look at the Premier League, I would say that all the way down to pretty much, I think down to 12th, it's really competitive. Down to Fulham. And then I think Bournemouth, Palace, Brentford, Everton, if you catch them on their day, they'll give you a game. Forest, Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United. Forest and Luton are a bit of a mixed bag. Burnley and Sheffield United are total trash. But no, I think it's a very competitive league. I don't think Fulham are going to be 5-0 down at half-time against Arsenal. Tomo, United fan here. Who of United starts for Arsenal? I would say no one, says Tomo. I would say you're right. Haaland and De Bruyne or Saka and Odegaard, says Ellie. Look, I prefer Saka and Odegaard, but De Bruyne is the best of all of them. And Haaland's the best striker in the world. Thomas, thanks for being a member. The Premier League is overrated. That was from I'm All In. Jamie, thank you very much. How much have Man City and Liverpool scored against Sheffield, says Jacob? I don't know. I don't know. What midfielders are better than Odegaard in the Premier League? Well, look, Bronze, I've always been a massive fan of Odegaard because I think he's exactly what United need as a number 10. He's a magnetic number 10. He looks after the ball. If you contrast Bruno Fernandes with Odegaard, and if you put Bruno Fernandes in this game and you put Odegaard in Man United's game yesterday, completely different game. Completely different game. Man City still win because they're better, but Man United have suddenly got a number 10 who looks after the ball, keeps hold of the ball. You put Bruno in this team, he'd still be really good because he's got good players around him, but he wouldn't look after the ball the same way. Odegaard's just such a magnetic number 10. He keeps the ball so well. I'd love to know what his ball retention is compared to someone like Bruno Fernandes, because it's just, and that comes from the coach. Of course it does. Arteta wants a number 10 who looks after the ball. Well, it looks like it's going to be 5 at half-time. Josh says, I'm a United fan, but it's really weird how Gary Neville acts when we concede or lose. Seems more gassed for Foden's goals than Rashford. Legend, no doubt, but it's odd, says Josh. Maybe he's just trying to be... do you think he's not just trying to be unbiased? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to be a pundit of a Man United game on the telly for a Man United game. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would not be able to. Fair play to him for doing it. I don't know how you have that mindset. But, if I support Man United and I'm on I'm commentating on it, I just can't be impartial. I can't sit there and go, imagine if I was on Sky yesterday. And you'd have to imagine because it had never happened. But you know what I mean. If I was on that game yesterday and Rashford goes down from the Kyle Walker tug and they go and score, I won't be sat there going, oh, he's got to do better there. I'd be going, the referee's an absolute prick. He's an absolute prick. That's a joke. That's an absolute joke, Martin. Absolute joke. Pat says, what if they paid you £1 million? You could. Nah, you can't. You know, money can't buy you. You know, money's important, but it can't. You can't. It's fake. Then you can't do that. I'm sure we've got some Arsenal fans in here. Would you be able to commentate on an Arsenal game? You know, you're 0-0 against Man City and they get a dodgy penalty in the last minute and it messes up your title hopes. At the end of the day, these things happen, Jeff. Fuck off. You're having a bloody laugh. I've always said they're a bunch of bloody twats. Offside. I thought he was going to give a penalty there. So it's looking like it's going to be 5 at half-time. Doesn't mean they can't break the record, but I think there's naturally going to be less goals in the second. Sometimes there can be more goals in the second half. Someone wake up Raya. I think he's fallen asleep, says Charlie. Oh, you've got to bring Ramsdale on, surely. As a Chelsea fan, I'd love Amaron as next manager, says Blues enthusiast. What's people's thoughts on Amaron, the Sporting Lisbon coach? Do you think he's a bit of a hipster? Do you think he's a bit of a risk? And would you agree that McAllister has been massively underrated? James, I've said it for a long time. I think he is such an important player for Liverpool. In fact, watch the podcast. Listen to the podcast tomorrow morning. Champions League is ours. Best in Europe now, says Zane. Arsenal, better team than last year, says Guy. I think this is a great point. An absolutely great point. Last season, at the start of the season, Arsenal were amazing. 43 points from their first 48 possible. And they fell away at the end of the season. This season, Arsenal, up until Christmas, were nowhere near as good as they were at the start of last season. But this Arsenal from Christmas to now is the best Arsenal I've seen since Prime Wenger. And you've got to again give Arteta massive credit because they didn't start the season off that well, but they were really good defensively and they got the results. And I think what Arteta's done is he's looked at the Peps and the Klopps and the Sir Alex Fergusons and he's realised you don't want to be playing your best football from September to Christmas. You want to play your best football from January to May. And he's obviously worked on that because they weren't that good at the start of the season on the eye. But the last month and a half, this is the best I've seen Arsenal play under Arteta. They're the best team in the league at the moment. You know what? I bet they wish they could play Man City at the weekend. Their biggest thing is not to lose any players over the... And also, as well, this is the problem. They're going to the Etihad after an international break. So there's no rhythm at all. And the stats on losing away after an international break is massive. So that Man City game doesn't happen for them at the right time. It really, really doesn't. I don't know what time that game kicks off either. 4:30 on the Sunday. At least it's on the Sunday. You don't want it at 12:30 on the Saturday. It's still 5-0, yeah. Still 5-0. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. Lots going on, as always. We're only 10 subscribers away from 115,000. So get involved with That's Football. Everybody's welcome on here. It is half-time now. Stop the clock. It is half-time. And we are sponsored by Manscaped as well. Don't forget to get your trimmers, your lawnmower, 20% off, delivered to your door for free. Free delivery, 20% off the price. The lawnmower, trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. It will change your life. It will change your life. And they've got loads of other male grooming products. They are absolutely fantastic quality. Don't forget to check out Manscaped. Links in the description, or you can scan the QR code when it goes around. But I tell you what does go around. Sheffield United's chin. It's getting boshed more times than anything you can think. They've absolutely battered them in that half. Let's have a look at the stats. 80% possession for Sheffield United, 80% possession for Arsenal, 20% for Sheffield United, 16 shots to 1, 7 on target to 0, 3 corners to 0, 451 passes to 113, 93% accuracy to 65%, 1 tackle to 10. I mean, you could frame that. That is an immaculate 451 passes, 93% of them accurate. So many of them in and around the Sheffield United penalty box. That's amazing. It's amazing to be 5-0 up, but 451 passes with 93% accuracy. And they're not passing it around the back four, side to side. They're actually attacking and probing. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And as I said, football's a funny place these days because people are very eager to sack managers. Chelsea, Manchester United, West Ham. But there is still a thing. I don't know whether they're vocal about it, but every time Arsenal lose a game, no matter what, it's still a thing. I still see on social media an Arteta out movement in the Arsenal fan base. What's that all about? What is that all about? How can there still be an element of Arsenal's fan base that is Arteta out? It's pure stubbornness. It's incredible. You need to knock your heads together and wake up. Because I'm telling you now, as a Man United fan, your team's bloody brilliant. I don't like Arsenal, but they are very easy on the eye. They are really good. And since Christmas, the energy levels have come back, the fluidity. I love what he's done with the midfield as well. I've been saying this all season. I never really understood the Havertz signing, and I certainly didn't like Rice, Havertz and Odegaard, because Odegaard doesn't get the freedom. He has to share that number 10 role, and Havertz isn't particularly good in it. But since they've gone to Rice, Jorginho and Odegaard, Odegaard's got that number 10 position 100% his, and Havertz has worked really well as the striker. My fear for Arsenal would be, if and when Jesus is fully fit, I hope he doesn't go back to Jorginho on the bench. Jorginho has got that form back of a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, and it works so well. It's so good. The balance of that midfield's really, really good. And Havertz is really working well at bringing other people into the play, and he's got confidence about it. It really, really works well. We know Arsenal's defence is fantastic. We know Saka and Martinelli work really, really well. But he's solved that midfield balance problem, and it really does work. And you know, I don't know whether he's looking at that more long term, because in the latter stages of the Champions League, you're going to need Rice and a Jorginho. And at the Etihad, you're going to need Rice and Jorginho. So it really, really does work. It really, really does work well. And look, it's a weird one for me because I've been doing That's Football for a few years now. And when Arsenal were finishing 8th and losing games, and, you know, certain Arsenal elements were printing T-shirts and saying, Arteta out, I actually said, I can see what he's doing. I can see what he's doing, but you've got to be patient. You know, he's removing the Aubameyangs and the Ozils. He's promoting young players that aren't quite ready yet. And he needs 2 or 3 transfer windows. And I actually, you know, the scary thing about Arsenal is I don't think they're finished yet. I still think they're ahead of schedule. Like, I don't think Arsenal are finished. I don't think the project's done. I still think they need another midfielder next to Rice. They definitely need a striker. And I would argue that, you know, I know Timber's to come back, but I still think they need a really good fullback. And you could argue they need a little bit more depth. So it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what they're doing. And their football is marvellous to watch. Can they break the record? I'm going to put a poll in the chat in a moment. Do you think they're going to break this record? It's 5-0 at half-time. The Premier League record is 9. I don't think they're even going to equal the record. I think it'll end up 7, maybe 8. But I don't think they'll do it. But they should fucking go for it. I'd go for it. Would you go for it? I'd go for it. Break the records. You've got that, you know, for your fans. But also, look, I don't want to say it, but the way Man City are playing at the moment, the way Man City are playing at the moment, let me just have a look at the goal difference. So, goal difference as it stands, Arsenal have got 44. Man City have got 35. So you've got 9 goals on Man City. 9 goals. But what if Man City go and get a couple of these games? Every goal counts. And if I was Arsenal, I would be saying go for the bloody goal difference, because 1, we break the record, but 2, the more goals we've got, the better. They're currently 9 goals better off than Man City, but they're only 5 better than Liverpool. So yeah, go for the goals. Go for the goals. 67 goals they've scored so far this season. So go for it. I'm just going to run a poll on this. Do you think they'll do it? Do you think they'll break the goal record? Yes or no? It's probably rival fans trolling, Mark. I don't think any sane Arsenal fan would be doing that on social media, says Sam. Mate, there are. Some people will know who those people are. They're probably piping down now, maybe, but it wasn't that long ago. Toxic says you'd be a great Arsenal fan. Mate, I love football. And I think if you love football, then you've got to be a fair pundit of football. Because if you love football, you've got to appreciate good football, and you've got to be honest about bad football. And, you know, maybe it's because United have been so shit for 10 years. My satisfaction has probably come from watching good football, whether it's Real Madrid, whether it's Arsenal at the moment. I struggle to say it about Man City and Liverpool. I struggle to say it about Arsenal, but I will say it if they play good. And it's the tactical analysis of football as well, isn't it? It's the, you know, I've always, I mean, I've told this story before, but I remember doing work experience at Grantham Town Football Club when I was about 14 or 15. And I was getting dropped off at Bingham train station and having to get the train from Bingham to Grantham at like 8 o'clock in the morning. As a 15-year-old in a school uniform, this was all foreign to me. And I used to, my mum would buy me like the newspaper, like the Daily Mirror. And I'd sit there reading the paper, pretending I was like, you know, knew what I was doing. But I remember that week specifically because I was like, Tuesday night football was, I think Tuesday night was UEFA, correct me if I'm wrong, Tuesday night was UEFA Cup, Wednesday night was European Cup, and Thursday night was Cup Winners' Cup. And I didn't want to go and do this work experience, but I was like, oh yeah, I think Arsenal were in the UEFA Cup tomorrow night, and then it's Man United in the European Cup, and you know, whoever was in the Cup Winners' Cup. And I just used to love watching football. And, you know, Liverpool-Everton, I'd watch it. And I think it's more prevalent now than it probably... Well, no, we used to watch it because we didn't get as many games. But some people are just really locked in on their own club and they can't watch anything else. But for me, I'm massively locked in on my club. But I do love watching football. Arteta press 1 or Klopp press 2. Let's vote now and put this to bed. Well, Klopp's better. Control, delete. I think that's pretty easy. It's amazing. Do you think Arsenal are going to break the goal record? 50% of you yes, 50% of you no. I never thought we'd have a lockout on something like that. Mark, if you're Chris Wilder in the dressing room now, what do you even say, says Wookie. Well, it's funny, you know. I have been in this situation a couple of times as a coach. You could argue when I did the Sidemen charity game, it was a bit like this because when Theo Baker went off and people were not fit and the Sidemen team was stronger than ours, I was looking at that scoreboard and the seconds were going like minutes. And we managed to get out with a relatively respectful scoreline. But you do worry about this could end up being something stupid. The problem is Sheffield United have done the same thing from minute 1 and they're 5-0 down. It's not like you can go, let's go ultra defensive. They're already ultra defensive. So you've just got to ask your players to play for pride. You've got to say, look, do you want to be the team that's with the worst ever Premier League goal record? And you've got to get them into, you've got to hope that those, and I think they will, you know, Sheffield United players aren't shit footballers. They're just not good enough to play at this level. In the Championship, they'll be a decent team. So you've got to call on that professional pride and just say, look, I know we're 5-0 down. I know fans are walking out. And tonight's a bad night. But trust me, if we lose this game by 10, and I'm talking to you at full time, you'd do anything to be back here now, stopping it happening. Because you don't want to be the players that lose the Premier League goals record. So it's on you lot. You know, you just got to not concede more than 4 goals in this second half. And actually, if you can keep it down to 5, brilliant. But it's professional pride here, and you've got to all go out there and deliver, because there's a lot of people expecting something, you know, a record to be broken tonight. It's a tough talk though, Wookie. It really is. And Havard Edge says, do you think that yellow, green, whatever colour is one of the reasons that it's 0-5? That kit is pure ugliness from day one, and Sheffield United is traumatised. If you were Arteta, would you stay at Arsenal if Barcelona come knocking this summer, stick out the project, or go to his boyhood club? I think it's a good question, you know, Jack. I don't want to be trolling Arsenal fans here, but I do think that Barcelona is a big pull, especially, I don't know Arteta's Spanish background in relation to, you know, Alonso played for Real Madrid, so I don't think he goes to Barcelona, but is Arteta more Barcelona than Real Madrid? You'd think maybe because of Pep and Man City, I don't know. That could be his dream job. And if it's his dream job, you're going to struggle. When Ronaldo was Man United, he had the platform to, he'd won the Ballon d'Or, he'd won a Champions League, but he wanted to play for Real Madrid. If that's the case, then it's a problem. But the flip side is, he's got a really good thing going on at Arsenal, and if they can get more money, he's got a really good thing going on. But what if he won the league with Arsenal? It's a big look. Barcelona are the Man United of La Liga at the moment. They are struggling, and it's a big job. What's that film like, Ferrari? Anybody watch it? It's probably rival. I've done that one. Thank you very much. If possible, would you take Odegaard for Bruno? Yes. Yes, Matt. Yes. I like Odegaard, and in the modern game, I think your number 10 has got to be a magnet, and Bruno's a trampoline. It's true. Like, Odegaard takes the ball, keeps the ball, and keeps you on the attack. Bruno takes the ball, and sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes he gives the ball away. And your number 10's got to be a magnet in the modern game, because, as we've seen with United, they get broken on all the time. And people focus on the outcome. They don't focus on the cause. The reason Fulham kept breaking on us last weekend wasn't because Fulham's goalkeeper had the ball and they were playing through us. It was because we were giving the ball away when we'd overcommitted. And if you've got Odegaard in the team demanding the ball, you don't give the ball away. So you can't get broken on. It's really simple. Or you're deluded in a... Aji, says Samir, you're deluded and you've got no ball knowledge. Egan says, Arsenal have scored 30 goals. Man United have got 37 all season. I think you meant to add something to that, Egan. Who needs Tony and Mbappe when we've got King, Kai Havertz, says Zane? And 3 players you'd take from Arsenal. And the Hughes lad says, Sheffield United would get beaten by Grantham's brass band. And Sati says, Mark, in order to have the 5th English Champions League spot, we need Arsenal and City to reach the semi-finals. Nightmare, says Sati. Well, no, I think I'd expect that to happen anyway. What 3 players would I take from Arsenal? Get involved in the chat, everybody. I would take... can I just give a big shout out to the members? We've got 4 new members tonight with their badge in the chat, like Lee Berman. If you want to get your badge in the chat and support the channel, you can do that by clicking the join button. I would take Saliba. I'd have to take Odegaard based on what I've just said. And obviously I'd take Saka. 3 substitutions for Sheffield United here. And he's took Saka off. So this is what I mean. There might not be loads of goals in this second half, because Arteta quite rightly might start looking at players. What the hell is this? I've just been sent something funny. Oh, Will's gutted. He's got Saka. And he's been subbed off, so he can't score a goal from in the Goldbridge. Saka subbed off. Let me just tell you what I'm doing on my Fantasy Premier League here. I've got 56 points. Kelleher got me 9. Esteban got me nothing. Son got me 7. Garnacho 2. De Bruyne 2. Saka 7. Haaland 12. Watkins 13. And Solanke. But I have still got Saliba. So yeah, I've not done that well. I've not done that. I've not done that well. I'll admit it. Yeah, not done that well. Somebody just said we should have had another red here. Saka off, Arteta out, says Zetti. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Sheffield United making more subs here. Why'd you put Garnacho in, says Idris. I'll be honest. I forgot to do my team. Look how empty that stadium is there. I mean, 46th minute in a Premier League game at home to Arsenal. You can see the letters. That is bad. That is really bad. I mean, look, every fan's got the right to do what they want to do, but that is bad. 52% of you think that Arsenal are going to break the record here. I don't. I think we're looking at 6 or 7. Timer is wrong, sorry, because I've not set it. Let me do it for you. It's definitely wrong now. Sheffield United would like... This is what Sheffield United would like to do. Oh, it's over. It's still 5-0. Unlucky. Back to reality. There goes gravity. We're on 47-32. I'll tell you what, I wish I had the power to do that yesterday when it was 1-0 to United. Insight 123, he's got 93 points on FPL and he's got 23 on his bench. All right, you bloody big head. No one likes a show off. Sheffield United are actually on the attack here. They'll get a bloody nosebleed. They'll be passing out. High altitude. Will's going absolutely crazy. This is punishment. There's something utterly relentless about this Arsenal team lately. They'll challenge right until the end for the title, says Decomp. And Reese K, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Lovely run by Martinelli down the left-hand side. He's got no support, though. Well, Arsenal aren't going to score goals without support. Corner. We're an embarrassment. Take me back to 2019, says Thomas. Thank you very much. Which United player gets into this Arsenal team, says Utkarsh. And what were your thoughts on Arsenal when they won the league at United, says Yash? I was on the lash, Yash. I was in the Hairy Lemon. I believe, was that when Will Tord scored it? It was 2-0. I was in the Hairy Lemon. It was April 2002. It was my leaving do. And I was too pissed having a good time with a certain person who became my wife to give a shit. One of the few times I really didn't give a shit about United. We weren't doing anything in the pub rude. We were just probably dancing to, I don't know, U2 or something like that. Everything else went on later. I'll tell you what, Man United might not have scored that night, but I certainly did. The good old days. I think I was lamenting too long there. Oh, long pause. Yeah, Sheffield United seem to have done... I've seen this happen a lot of times before. People start talking about, oh, we'll do it all in the second half, and then suddenly Arsenal might not score again because Sheffield United do start playing for their lives. Big up the Hairy Lemon, says Darren. Yeah, you've got to visit it. Oh, Will's still messaging me on WhatsApp. What's going on? Why has he subbed him off? Arteta can suck a fat one. He's just getting humiliated on Goldbridge, and I think it's just making him panic even more. I'm an unstoppable force, and the forfeit on Goldbridge will be worth everybody's retweets when you see it. Well, Declan Rice has got a free kick here. I don't think he'll be shooting from this. I think this is a cross. Straight at the keeper. Vikram says, do you only own any crypto? I might have some remnants of crypto that I bought years and years ago. 10 years ago, probably, but I won't be claiming it back. Let's put it that way. I remember somebody telling me about some crypto when I was in a previous job, and they were like, hey, you can literally 20 times your investment in a week. You know, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Mark, how is Erik ten Hag under the fire when Arteta finished 8th in his first 2 seasons? What are these double standards, says Bilal. Well, this could be a goal. No. Oh, Martinelli got his connection completely wrong. Odegaard. And the foul. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're closing in on 116,000. We're only about 400 away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. I am back live tomorrow night. Bayern Munich against Lazio, I'm doing. They're 1-0 down from the first leg. And I'm just massively intrigued. I haven't watched Bayern Munich. I don't think I've watched Bayern Munich this season, actually. Apart from when I have watched them play against United twice. I'm just confused as to why they're so shit. So I'll be tuning in tomorrow night. And you can tune in as well. Are you going to do Wednesday night will be the next question. To which the answer is, I don't know. I'm not doing Man City Copenhagen. That can piss off. Will I do Madrid Leipzig? It might just be a bit one-sided. I'll see how I feel. I won't be doing Thursday night, Fred. It makes me come out in a cold sweat. I just can't do it. I don't like doing it when it's United. I really don't want to do it when it's not. I wish Villa all the best, and Brighton, and Rangers, and anyone else that's in it. I purposely left Liverpool out for obvious reasons. Cross comes in, headed away. I'm with you. Flame, Tuchel is very overrated. I'm going to give you another either or here. I did wish Villa all the best. PSG's next week, isn't it, Lewis? I probably will do that one. Odegaard. Juicy Fruit says, who would you offload for United this summer? Well, I don't think... There's very few players that should be off the radar. Obviously, Garnacho, Højlund, Mainu. And apart from that, I mean, obviously, Onana will stay. You would imagine, obviously, Mason Mount gets to stay. He's only just come in. But I don't think anybody else really should be definitely safe. Delo I'd probably keep as well. Bilal, welcome to Members Club. Daniel says, do you think they'll even get 8 now? I did say 7. I did say 7. I mean, look, it can check. You can get 2 or 3 goals very, very quickly. But Wilder's actually got them very, very compact. And it's a psychological thing for Arsenal as well. They've won the game. So psychologically, you will naturally just drop off a little bit and be a little bit less intent. Do you have a soft spot for clubs like Villa and Brighton, says Dan? I wouldn't say it's a soft spot. I'd just rather Villa won the league than Arsenal, Liverpool and City because they're much less offensive. I'd rather Brighton, and for the same reason. But, you know, who would I want to win the league out of Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool? Arsenal. Easily. For obvious reasons. As a United fan, I don't want Arsenal to win it. They were a big rival when I was sort of growing up. But they're not on the same level as Liverpool as a rival. And Man City are obviously not only are they our local rival, they're also the 115. So I'm going to pick Arsenal every day. Do we still need a striker, says Zane? Yeah, I think you do. I said it in January. I think if Arsenal had Ollie Watkins, he'd be perfect for you. Here's Rice, Havertz, Rice. Sheffield United actually defending quite well now. And thoughts on the new European League format, says Matt. I don't really like it. You know, if you've not seen the new European European Champions League format, hasn't the league got 36 teams in it and you only play 8 of them? And you don't play home and away either. It's very random, your league fixtures. I mean, look, it might work, but... Oh, what a goal! Ben White! What a goal by Ben White. He's hit it on the edge of the box, stretching, right in the bottom corner. Well, if you've got Ben White in your FPL, you're laughing. It's 6. Still half an hour to go. 35 minutes probably to go. Oh, watch this back on his left foot as well. There's been some good Arsenal goals, hasn't there? On his Jorginho again with a delightful ball. We saw this last week. Havertz cuts it back on the stretch back. Oh, I tell you what, it's a lovely goal. He's an absolute banger on his left foot. Another player Southgate shouldn't be ignoring. Look at that. Fucking hell, he really does connect with that well. Keeper gets his hand on it, but... yeah, just not enough. Great goal. Rice has claimed Rodri's crown, says Zane. I feel like Mbappe to Real won't go well. Just me, says Basil. Well, he'll be the superstar of the team. Will he get an England call-up, says Charlie? I don't think he gets on with Southgate, does he? Which makes me like Ben White even more. Give him the Ballon d'Or. I'm sure he fell out with him, didn't he? Yeah, I don't think there'll be any going back there, to be honest. It's still on, Arsenal fans. It's still on. You could still break the record here. Sheffield United ain't going to make it easy. But the incentive for Arsenal is not really to break the record. It's to get that goal difference up. It's like another point, as we know. And when they're so tight with each other. Remember, Liverpool don't play Arsenal either. I was looking at Arsenal's running, actually. And it's rather interesting how both Arsenal and Liverpool have got to go to Old Trafford. Man United could have a big, big say in the title race. They've got Brentford to play at home at the weekend. You'd expect them to win that, Arsenal. Then they've got Chelsea at home, where you'd expect them to win that. City away, difficult. Luton at home, expect them to win that. Brighton away, I'd expect them to win. Villa at home, tough, could be tough. Wolves away, could be tough. Spurs away, could be tough. And obviously they've got to play Man United at some point as well. Liverpool have got, obviously, Man City, Man United away, Brighton at home, Sheffield United at home, Palace at home, and they've got some other games as well that I don't know where they are. Who do you think? Has anyone actually looked at it in any detail to see who's got the toughest? Spurs at home, Villa away, Wolves at home. Somebody said to me Man City have got the better running after they play Liverpool and Arsenal. If Southgate wins the Euros, do you think he'll stay on? Yes, the beast. But I think England will win the Euros. Who do you think has got the easiest running? Has anyone actually looked at it? I think if Man City beat Liverpool and Arsenal, they'll win it. City have got games against the top 8. Liverpool's is the easiest. A lot of people saying Liverpool have got the easiest running. And Arsenal have got the hardest, says Reese. Yeah, Arsenal have got some tough games. They've got to go Old Trafford, got to go White Hart Lane, got to go Brighton, got to go Etihad. Thanks, Lewis. Appreciate that. Lovely, nice message. Does Arsenal have the best five-a-side team if that was a thing? Raya, Saliba, Odegaard, Rice and Saka. Well, I think Ederson and Stones and Silva and Foden and De Bruyne would be pretty good. You wouldn't even pick Haaland, would you? It'd be a very good five-a-side game. Well, there's some subs going to be made by Arsenal here. Alex says Spurs have got a 3-game run of City, Liverpool and Arsenal. What's White Hart Lane? Sorry, that's what I call Spurs ground. Sorry, I'm old school. Oh, did not notice this. Martinelli hopping off. That's not good. Thomas Partey back for Arsenal's. I completely forgot he played for them, you know. And this is the thing that Arsenal need to be careful of. Injuries. Mark, you're looking bored, mate, says Alex. Well, obviously, look. I was humming and hawing about whether to do this as a watch-along, and I'm very glad that I have, because we've had some really good conversation. But what's made this game even more interesting is, can Arsenal track down that goal record? Because you're watching history if that happens, and I don't think they're going to do it, if I'm being honest. Jorginho's coming off a Partey. You know. Still half an hour. Anthony Taylor loves himself. You can just tell. Goofy says it's really apparent the gulfing class between the elite and the in the Premier League and the Championship. Every season it gets bigger. Goofy, it really came across to me, Goofy, when stop saying Goofy. It really came to me this season when Sunderland played Newcastle in the FA Cup at Sunderland, and I was like, "There's a shock here," and they absolutely battered them. Middlesbrough, Chelsea battered them in that second leg. The gap is getting bigger, and I don't know what you do about it. I mean, look, people keep saying to me, who do you want to come up from the Championship? I want teams to come up that can stay in the Premier League, because the relegation battle will be a waste of time. And that's not good. You know, Everton have been flirting with relegation the last 3 years because they're not very good. But it will get to a point where Everton can just bank the money every year because they know how, no matter how bad they are, they won't be as bad as the teams that come up. So, yeah, it's exciting at the top of the league, but the relegation battle, it will just become a foregone conclusion. And there's nothing more boring than, you know, when you're in a race for top four or you're in a race for the title and you see that Man City have got Sheffield United at home. It's just boring. Like, you want some competition. Morgan thinks Leicester could be good next year. There's 30 minutes left, says Lee. 3 goals and we've got the record. Well, yeah, you've equalled it. It's hard to do, though. I mean, hard to do. No matter how bad somebody is, it's hard to get 10 goals in a game, 9 goals in a game. I bet Ipswich fans are hoping they do it, says Mark. They're doing very, very well. Double promotion it would be as well. I'm thinking about the doorbell, when you're gonna ring it, when you're gonna ring it. Doom, doom. Ba-doom, doom. Ba-doom, doom. I want to do an either or. What do I think about Luton, says Kelvin? I think Luton, well, it is an either or. It is an either or. This is a really good one because you've got to use your brain here. Who goes down? Luton or Forest. Now, don't rush. You're gonna thank me for not voting, right? Who goes down, Luton or Forest? Because Sheffield United and Burnley have gone, and it's Forest or Luton, no one else. Remember, Forest are going to get a points deduction. They will get a points deduction. So, at the moment, Forest are 4 points ahead of Luton. If Forest get a points deduction, it's likely to be 6 points because that's what Everton's was reduced to. That would put them 2 points behind Luton. So think of it like that. Will Everton go down? Well, if they get a 6 points deduction, they'd still be ahead of Forest. So I don't think Everton will go down. Can we do Saka versus Foden, says Arsenal for the Prem? I'm happy to do it. I think it's Saka, but obviously there's a lot of recency bias around Foden, who has been fantastic. Love the podcast, Mark. Are you sticking to the current schedule? And since you do video podcasts now, will they eventually available on Spotify, says Nemanja? We've got no plans to put our video on Spotify because we don't have an exclusive Spotify deal like some people do. So I will put it on YouTube because YouTube have been good to us. So we put the video podcast on YouTube tomorrow afternoon, but the audio goes up tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So check it out. Goldbridge Saves Football. It's a good episode this week. Partey, Odegaard wanted to shoot, didn't. Oh, Mark says, I mean, Ipswich hope that Arsenal break the record. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. 20 minutes to go. Control Delete says, why can't we do Klopp versus Arteta? Because it's a poll for idiots. Arteta's doing a great job, but there is no poll that is anywhere near going to vote for Arteta over Klopp? Ba-doom-doom. Ten Hag out, and here is a replacement, Ange. Yeah, but Aaron, he's not going to leave Spurs after 1 year, when he's probably going to put them in the Champions League as well. Ain't going to happen, mate. What the fuck? Why have I not been doing? Why are you an idiot? What? Here we go. This should be on charge. Absolute twat. I've only got 10%. Put it on charge, man. Now's the perfect time. I'm starving as well. You shouldn't eat. When you get to my age, don't eat after 9 o'clock. It plays havoc with your blood sugar. Nice pyjamas, Mark, says Max. It just means I'm ready. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We are live tomorrow night. Bayern are 1-0 down against Lazio. And the way they're playing at the moment, you wouldn't bet against Lazio knocking Bayern out. Don't really keep an eye on Serie A as much as I used to, but Lazio are currently 9th, a long way away from Champions League qualification for next season. In fact, they won't get it. Roma have done a lot better since Mourinho got the sack, haven't they? Won 4 of the last 5. Still not in the top 4, though. Bologna are in the top 4 at the moment. 4th place. Lazio, Guendouzi, of course. Ex-Arsenal. They lost to Milan at the weekend. Let's have a look at their lineup, Lazio. Romagnelli, Alberto, Guendouzi, Felipe Anderson's still there. They're more a team of parts than anything else. Rachel Riley or Carol Vorderman, says Gregory. Not the sort of stuff we do on here. By all means, get involved, but I won't be running it as a poll. 54% of you are saying that Forest will go down, over 46% of you of Luton. Are you going to watch the AJ fight? Is that on Saturday? Boom, boom, boom. Well, I think the chances are thinning. Like, you can't take the piss out of old people, but they're running out. Could have been me. I genuinely thought I was going to be bold. Thing is, you can do a lot about it now. I saw who did I see on Instagram? Sam Matterface, the commentator. He was doing something about it, having one of those operations. On his head. I'd do it. Not because there's nothing wrong with being bold. I think it suits Pep, you know, Danny Murphy, Eric Ten Hag. It suits them. I think some people, you know, Phil Mitchell, it really does suit them. For me, bold, I'd look an absolute twat. So I can't even wear a cap. I'll prove it. Look. I can't even wear a cap, so I got sent this by the Hairy Lemon. and look even worse. Get my hard drive checked if I keep my glasses on. Well, that's not big enough either. I've got a big head. Not in an arrogant way. Bloody hell, that's on full. What's going on? Well, that's never going to go on. That's getting smaller. What? How do you sort this out? Oh, whatever. Well, actually, that's not too bad, but I'm not really a cap guy. Now, I don't look like I'm in a bloody gang, do I? I look like a fucking garden gnome. But I move like a garden gnome these days as well. Yeah, trust me, I'm not intimidating, am I? I don't actually. Actually, I don't think I look that bad in that cap. Maybe it's the style. Yeah, I can't bloody see though without my glasses on now. Now I look a twat. Hello. Yeah. If I'm walking down the street, I'm definitely getting a stop check. Right, enough of that nonsense. Look at the empty seats. It's like the Etihad if they were blue. Although, is that Arsenal fans behind the goal? Let's end the poll. Yeah. Has said put the glasses on. Well, you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Ten Hag out, and here is a replay. I've done that from Aaron McKenzie. Thank you very much. Pablo Escobar Bridge, says Harvey. Yeah, it's always a little bit disappointing, isn't it? Because I think, you know, even I was like thinking, oh, it'd be good if they break the record. But like so many games, it can be. I've seen so many times where a team is 3, 4, 5 up at half time, and in the second half they'll get one. I thought it was Klopp, says Stego. I've never ever been told I look like Klopp, so I definitely don't. Hey, what? This can't be true. It sounds incredible. Iman says Havertz's goal was the 150,000th goal scored in English top flight league history. What? Going back to what? The 1800s. Hugh says, do you like One Foot in the Grave? Also thoughts on Roberto. I think you put two names together there, Hugh. I used to watch One Foot in the Grave years ago. I haven't really watched it for a while. I was watching Father Ted again recently. Do you think Arsenal leave with a result like this from the Etihad, says Rick? I think it's going to be very hard for Arsenal at the Etihad. You know, already they might not have Martinelli because that looked like it was a bit of a problem. But the biggest problem they're going to have, look, Arsenal are a very good team, but so are Man City. It's at the Etihad, and on top of that, it's after the international break. So any rhythm that Arsenal have is gone. We know after an international break, you're cold, you don't have the rhythm, and you want to be at home. So the timing of the game could be problematic. Andy Cole holds the record for goals in a game, 6. I think that was against Ipswich as well, Mark. And if Ten Hag leaves, where do you think he goes to, says Jay? Well, he could go back to Ajax. I'd laugh if he went to Barcelona and made them good. And you've always, if you're Ineos, you've got to be careful about that as well. You do not want to sack a manager that when it's a little bit risky and then they go off somewhere else and do really well. This isn't even Sheffield United's worst defeat this season, says Shell. And do you ever wonder why the City owners or any rich buyers don't buy Leeds, a club with real history, says AZ. But Leeds are owned by the 49ers, aren't they? So they have got rich owners. It's not the right ones, obviously. Josh says Saka looks like Bazinga's girlfriend. What? You know when you read a chat and you think, what the hell are you on about? Get yourself down, Specsavers, mate. Rice is miles clear of Casino. Sheffield United on the attack. Don't mess up my FPL. No, it's all right. Do a poll on who's the best Lord. Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Flies, or Lord of the Dance. All right, Alan, Robbo. I've never seen Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Dance is that Riverdance stuff, isn't it? So definitely Lord of the Rings. Are you going to do, Mark, are you going to a happy hour tour date? Managed to get 5 tickets for the Knox one, 5 woes from the front, and can't wait to smell Knox, says Luke. I am going to the one. I think I'm going to the Birmingham one. I've penciled it in. I was meant to go last year, but I had to cancel it. But yeah, I think I'll probably go to that one. Just imagine if Ten Hag goes to Liverpool, says Brian. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Well, what will Liverpool do if they don't get Alonso? We were talking about that in the first half. Where will they go? Lord Benter is the best Lord, says Thomas. What is the Ten Hag news? Watch the United stand. This is a different channel. If Coronation Street wouldn't tell you the spoiler of EastEnders, would it? Well, it probably would, actually. Elijah says they might go for sporting manager. De Zerbi would be... Look, does anybody actually rate De Zerbi? I'm going to do a poll on this. Let's pretend it's Liverpool. Would De Zerbi be good for Liverpool? You know what? I get a bad feeling about people, and I'm right about 80% of the time. I said it about Poch when he went to Chelsea. You know, no one ever talks about your good takes. They always clip up your bad takes. But I said about Pochettino when he went to Chelsea in the summer, I said, I don't think that ends well. I do not think he is a good enough manager. I think he's a busted flush. And I'm right. I wouldn't sack him if I was Chelsea because I don't think the manager is the main problem there at the moment. But I don't think Pochettino is good enough. And with De Zerbi, he's been linked to United a bit. But even taking off my United glasses, actually, I think Liverpool should get him. Just realised. Yeah, but no, on a serious note, I can't lie because there's clips of it and all that. I think De Zerbi's a massive, massive, massive risk. Had a very good season last year, but this year, I mean, you can't be getting stuffed by Luton and Fulham and be a good coach. Like, you know, there's an issue there. What quiz would say, if it's up there, I'll give you the money myself? Family Fortunes, Kenneth. I'm good on quizzes. Saka or Vinicius Jr., says Noam. I'd go, I'm a massive fan of Vinicius Jr. He's in my top 3 players in the world at the moment, so I'd have to. Did you ever go to Keyworth near Bingham growing up? I knew where it was, Keyworth. I knew the name and it was close by, but if you asked me to get there, is it at the back of Cotgrave? Law. Yeah, I think if you come at the top of West Bridgeford, there's at the top of Gampston, isn't it? And then you take the roundabout to Keyworth. I think I'm right there. Yeah, I very close to where I grew up, but I hardly ever went there. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Cotgrave I knew very well. Bingham I went to school. Newark, Radcliffe, West Bridgeford. Don't know North Nottingham at all. You know, Beeston, knew Carlton a little bit because my dad lived there, but yeah, I don't know like Hucknall and Beeston and Baseford. Don't know North Nottingham at all. I lived closer to Leicester city centre than I did Nottingham because I grew up in Nottinghamshire. Like a hobbit. I knew Woolerton a bit because Woolerton Hall's quite nice. They filmed the external of Batman's house at Woollerton Hall is in Nottingham. I think it's in the external of Bruce Wayne Towers is Woollerton Hall in Nottingham, and that I think they used it in The Dark Knight, but certainly The Dark Knight Rises. York's lovely, Chris. I do like York. And Chester's nice as well. Historical. Are you Somalian, Mark? Says Kaz. No, I'm not. And I've never been asked that question before. So, Mitoma seems to have fallen off a cliff, says Jordan. Yeah, I used to be an FPL staple. I think Brighton are focused on the Europa League. That's my theory. Lovely ball into Jesus. Only one goal in the second half. Arteta out. Arteta out. If he knew what he was doing, this would be at least 12. It's the balance of probabilities, though, isn't it? There will be a point in the next, I would say, decade where we get a 10-0. We will get a double-figure Premier League win. It will happen. I don't think it's an impossibility. It will happen. I think it'll happen in the next 10 years, especially with the gap of the Championship and the Premier League. A newly promoted team will get smacked up by 10 in the next 10 years. There's a little wager for you. Remember that. Remember who said that? Goldbridge said a newly promoted team will get smacked up by double figures at some point in the next 10 years. What do you think of Mansfield, says Adrian? North Nottingham, isn't it? So I don't really know much about it. I want them to get promoted, though, because I do like Nigel Clough. I always liked him as a player. And then he went to fucking Liverpool. But it's the name, isn't it? Brian Clough was a... I just love that film, Damned United. It's probably one of the best football films ever made. Just a charismatic manager. They don't make him like that anymore. Basically, he was only the manager of Leeds for about a month, and when he got the job, they won the title. And he walked in the dressing room. He said, "I want you to get all your trophies and put them in a big bag because you got them for cheating." That'll be happening at Man City in a couple of months, hopefully. Hey, they'll need a big bag as well. And hopefully it'll be a bag for life. They won't be getting them back. Arsenal could win the title on goal difference, says Matthew's blog. Yes, they could. Are you going to do a UFC 299 watch-along on Saturday night? Also, have you seen Dundalk midfield? Yeah, I'm not going to read that name out, Yurik. And also, I'm not going to read your first name out either. Trying to catch me out. Yurik is the first name. Second name is Hunt. You're not... I haven't been caught out by one of those for years. I'll lay the gauntlet down. You won't catch me. Nitro, thank you very much for your super chat. When's the AJ fight? It's on Friday. Friday night. I don't know whether I'm that interested in it, really. Friday the 8th of March. Oh, TalkSport haven't even got commentary of that. Mark Goldbridge show, 9 o'clock, 7:30 on Sunday. I walked into Gabby Agbonlahor yesterday. I was on a walk. Walked right around the corner. Would you take Tuchel for United? No. No. You know what? I'm getting the word Moyes. I was dead against Moyes. I backed him, but I was dead against Moyes. I never wanted him, and I do not want Thomas Tuchel. I don't like Thomas Tuchel. I think he's just... I didn't mind him at Chelsea, but nah, I don't want him anywhere near United. You shouldn't be appointing managers who've been sacked from their last 3 jobs. Like, that is not forward thinking at all. And Liverpool wouldn't go anywhere near him, Hamza. Who would you like to see promoted, says Dixie. Yeah, you're not catching me out with the enormous bit on the end. May as well call yourself Dixon and then second name Cider. I think that Leicester will go up, and I think Southampton will go up, and I think Ipswich will have to do it through the playoffs. No record tonight, says Keegan. No. Only 1 goal in the second half. Just keep the clean sheet, says Joshua. Look, at the end of the day, 6-0. I wouldn't say Arsenal fans would have gone in expecting 6, but you probably would have been thinking 3 or 4. So, Odegaard with man of the match there. Look at that. They've kept their pass completion rate up in the 90s. 831 passes, 93% accuracy. That's amazing. William Sage says, how many stadiums have you been to besides United? You know what, William? I've never sat and counted them. I'm not really that... I don't really have a train spotting mentality to do that sort of thing. I mean, I would be curious as to know how many hobnobs I've eaten in my life. Those are the sort of stats I'm interested in. But I've been to quite a few because I've been to a lot of like weird grounds as well. Not just your standard, but I've been to a lot of like... You know, Kidderminster Harriers, Grantham Town, Fleetwood. You know, I've been to a lot of those types of places. Been to a lot of grounds that aren't there anymore as well. White Hart Lane, Highbury. Goodison's still there, isn't it? But what was Coventry called? It was Highfield, I think. Baseball ground, Derby. Filbert Street, not there anymore. Leicester. Wembley, which is still there. It's just not the same. I nearly said Villa Park, but that's definitely there. I never went to Main Road, no. Highfield Road is what it was, yeah. I always think it's sad when there was a ground there, but it's just not there anymore. Like, I don't know what is Main Road now? What is where Main Road? What's your best beer in your opinion, says Sully? Oh, I don't know. I'm not really a snob about things like that. Like red wine, I like red wine, but I've got no idea about... I mean, I know what's a shit wine, but basically I just go for something that's 15 quid. Even a £10. I think anything lower than a fiver, you're drinking, you know, flavoured vinegar, really. But I have been to the Valley. I've managed at the Valley, Freddie. First Sidemen game was at the Valley. See, that's it. I've been at Valley, West Ham, been there. Never. I didn't go to Upton Park. Never went there. Liverpool should go for CSK manager. Yeah, Oz. I'm not going to fall for that. Klee, and then second name Torres. Put them together. He probably doesn't know what one is, Oz, to be fair. And that's the full-time whistle. It's 6-0. It was 5 at half-time. It's 6. Scooby-Doo, says Hayward. And the Nutbuster says, do you like my name? Also, Havertz signing worth 60 million. You know what? In the last few weeks, he's looked good. Did you see Solihull got a 3-3 draw? I did, Philip. Thank you very much. You've all been fantastic tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm back on here tomorrow to watch Bayern against Lazio. Very intrigued to see what that's all about. But Arsenal, look, job done in the first half. They were brilliant. Second half, they dropped down the gears, didn't they? And Sheffield United were playing for pride. Here's one for you. Do you think it's more likely that you get a goal record broken in the first half of the season? Because I think Arsenal and Arteta were like, let's rest some players, let's slow this down a bit. Have you ever been to Selhurst Park, says Ozzy? You know what? I don't think I have. No, I think I would have remembered that. Thank you, everybody. Back tomorrow night. Make sure you subscribe on the way out. And don't forget, tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, when you're on your way to work, school or whatever, Goldbridge Saves Football podcast, listen in your ears. We're live with that tomorrow morning as well. Good one as well. Take care. Speak to you in a bit.